All right, guys, let's knock out this test 12 review. Number 1, positive and negative angle coterminal. Remember, when you do coterminal with radians, you're adding 2 pi. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add and subtract. Remember how we do this. We take the denominator and double it and put that on top. So 6 pi over 3 is really 2 pi. So I'm going to add and subtract 6 pi over 3 to 5 pi over 3. So if you do 5 plus 6 pi, that's 11 pi over 3. That's the positive one. And if you subtract 5 minus 6, you get negative 1 pi over 3, and that's a negative one. That's all you got to do there. Number 2, convert 140 to radians and leave with pi. So I'm going to just do 140 divided by 180 and leave the pi with it. So I'm just going to take that and punch in my calculator and hit 140 divided by 180. Hit math frac, it reduce it for you. You should get 7/9. Just put the pi with it, and you're good. 7 pi over 9. Number 3, convert 4 pi over 3 to degrees. Remember, pi is really the same thing as 180 degrees, so I'm going to put the 180 there and just multiply that out. And when you punch it in your calculator, you should get 240 degrees. Number 4, convert, you're now going backwards, convert that to radians. Same thing I did up there in number 2. I'm going to divide it by 180. Don't forget the pi, put the pi with it. So again, I'm taking my calculator, punching in 240 divided by 180, hit math frac, change it to a fraction. I think I'm getting negative 4/3 when I do that. So pi on top with it, negative 4 pi over 3. Number 5, in a circle with a 140 centimeter radius, an arc subtends 180 from the angle of how many radians? Okay, so remember radians. The radians is, the way you do radians is you do the arc length over the radius, arc length of a radius. Well, the arc length here is 180. So I'm going to go 180. The radius is 140. So my angle, I'm just going to reduce that 180 over 140. I'm going to punch that in real quick. And I'm getting 1.29 radians. Is how many radians it is. That's what that angle is. Remember, radians is arc length over the radius. Arc length over the radius. Number 6, complement and supplement. Whenever you see the word complement, you need to think 90 degrees or pi over 2, which is the same thing as 90. Supplement is 180 degrees or pi, which is the same thing as 180. So all you do to find the complement is you do pi over 2 minus pi over 6. And to find the supplement, you do pi minus pi over 6. Now, don't forget the little shortcut I taught you. So subtract and add fractions real quick. Just take the denominators and multiply them together. 2 times 6 is 12. Cross multiply that way, that's 6 pi. Cross multiply that way, that's 2 pi. And if you subtract, you get 4 pi over 12. Just reduce the 4 and the 12. 4 goes into both of them. 4 goes into 4 at one time. It goes into 12 3 times. It's pi over 3. That's the complement. The supplement, that's really pi over 1. 6 times 1 is 6. Cross multiply, that's 6 pi. Cross multiply, that's 1 pi. If you do 6 pi minus 1 pi, that is 5 pi over 6. And there's your supplement. Keep going here. Number 7, solve that inequality with all those fractions in it. What I'm going to do, because there's fractions, I'm going to multiply the LCD. I have a 4, an 8, and a 3. So I'm going to take that 8 and start just thinking multiples, because 3 doesn't go into 8. So if I do 8 times 2, that's 16. 3 doesn't go into 16. 8 times 3 is 24. All of those go into 24. So I'm multiplying this one by 24. Every single term up there by 24. And what happens is 4 goes into 24 6 times. So I'm going to do 6 times a negative 3. That's negative 18x. 8 goes into 24 3 times. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. 3 goes into 24 8 times. 8 times 2 is 16x. And now, just like that, all the fractions are gone. So I'm going to get my x's together. I'm taking the 16x over there. That gives me negative 34x. When I move it over, equals negative 15. Be careful here. You got to divide by negative 34. Now, don't forget, when you divide by negative 34, what happens with the sign in the middle? Remember, it flips. So you get 15 over 34, and that's your answer right there. You could do, remember, we did number line with this sometimes. Like we'd put a 15 34s right here, fill in our circle, shade that way. If you do interval notation, you would go like negative infinity to 15 over 34 with a bracket because they had an equals. Number 8, simplify. These are review now. So this is a square, multiply double square. If you square a square root, the square root goes away. When you multiply these two together, you get square root of 15. When you double that, you just put a 2 in the front. Then you're going to square the square root of 3, which means you're pulling the 3 out. It's positive, by the way. Anytime you square something, it's positive. And then to finish up, just add your 5 and 3, bring down your minus 2 on 15. And guys, you got this like that. Number 9, an f minus g of 2. Quickest way to do that is plug 2 into f and 2 into g. If I plug 2 into f right there, I get 2 squared, which is 4 minus 2, which is 2. If I plug 2 into g right here, 3 times 2 is 6 plus 7. And since it says f minus g, I'm going to subtract those. Now we get negative 5. Number 10, write an equation for the y equals x squared. That shape, same shape, but it's reflected across the x, has a vertical stretch of 3, and shifted right 4. So I would say y equals, first of all, it's reflected across the x, which means there's a negative in the front. Vertical stretch of 3 means there's a 3 also in the front. Shift right 4 means the 4 is inside. Remember, inside's left or right, opposite what you think. Since it says right 4, I'm going x minus 4, and the square is going there. Remember, the x has to be squared. The 4 must be inside there. Hopefully that makes some sense right there. That's all those gestures we did that, the set of 8 that we're so good at now. Number 11, find the inverse. I keep putting this on there because we keep missing this thing. I need you to get this one right, guys. You got this, right? Everybody does the first step right every week. Okay, put the x over there, put the y's over here. Everybody does that. Then something happens right here on our execution, all right? To make that fraction go away, you have to, basically that's really x over 1. So I'm just going to cross multiply. I don't know what just happened. Going to cross multiply. So if I do that side, I get xy plus 5x. If I do this side, I get 1 times y, 1 times 2. All right, now, a lot of people get there, then this is where we lose a little bit. Because there's 2 y's, you got to get them together. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to take the y over there, and at the same time, I'm bringing the 5x to the right-hand side. So if I bring the y over, it becomes minus y. If I take the 5x over, it becomes minus 5x. Now here's the trick to getting this problem right. I need just 1 y. Right now I've got 2 y's over here. And guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor it out. If I factor out the y, that leaves an x in the first term and just a 1 there because I took the y out. And that equals negative 5x minus 2. All right, so now it says y times x minus 1. The opposite of times is division. So to get the y by itself, I divide both sides by x minus 1. And all you got to do to finish up is take that y right there, and you know what to do. We're going to change that to inverse of f. That's all you got to do. Number 12, you should be, y'all are so good at this kind of problem. It says cosine x is 7/25. Find the other 5. You got 2 options how to go here. I think most of you prefer to draw the triangle, so I don't know what that was. So I'm going to draw the triangle here, and it all depends on where you put theta. Okay, so I'm going to put theta there. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. 7/25, that's adjacent over hypotenuse. To find the other side, I'm going a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Everybody knows that's 49. That's b squared, that's 625. If you move the 49 over there, you get b squared is 576. If you punch that in your calculator, you get 24. So that side right there is 24. So let's go through. First of all, secant is reciprocal of cosine, 25 seconds. Sine, opposite over hypotenuse, which is 24 over, that's a 24. Let me do that one again, that looks terrible. Opposite over hypotenuse, which is 24 over 25. That's a little bit better. Cosecant, reciprocal of of sine. Tangent is opposite over adjacent leg. Cotangent, reciprocal of tangent. All you got to do. All right, 13, solve the triangle. About to do SOHCAHTOA again. When it says solve the triangle, by the way, you got to find everything that's missing. So what we're missing is I need to find little c, that's right here. I need to find angle B and angle A, all that stuff. Okay, so here's what I know. I know this side right here is 14. Nope, got that backwards. Sorry about that. Side A is 14.5. Side B is 19.2. So one thing that looks pretty easy to me, I'm going to find little c first. No, I can't. I got to find angle A. I'm going to find angle A. I can't find C yet. Actually, you could do Pythagorean theorem if you want to and find C, but I'm going to wait and do some trig there. So I'm going to do angle A. And look what I have. I have the opposite and the adjacent. That's tangent. So I'm going tangent of A is opposite over adjacent. Now, when you're looking for an angle, it says tangent A. It doesn't say tangent of whatever, just tangent of A. You got to do you do inverse tangent. On your calculator, that's second tangent. So I'm going to do second tangent, 14.5 divided by 19.2 hit enter. I'm getting 37, basically 37 degrees. So my A, 37 degrees. Now, to get my B, I'm gonna do 180, to subtract them from 180. 180 minus 37 minus 90, and that leaves me 53 degrees. So my big B is 53 degrees. That's all you gotta do to find your angles. Now, to find little c over here, you got lots of choices. I know A now is 37 degrees. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse, that's sine. So I'm doing sine of 37 degrees is opposite, which is 14.5, over hypotenuse, which is c. Now, because the c is in my denominator, the way you punch this in your calculator, you're going to have to divide instead of multiply. So I'm going to punch in 14.5 first, 14.5 divided by sine of 37. We talked about that in class, like why you divide, and you get this for c. I get 24.1. And I'll be honest, if you did Pythagorean theorem at first, you may get something just a tad bit different from 24.1. As long as you're close, you're okay. The reason you get something a little bit different is because I actually rounded that 37 earlier. Okay, it wasn't exactly 37. Like 14, where is it increasing, decreasing, or constant? Let's go increasing first because it comes first in the problem. It's increasing right here. That's the only place it's increasing. Is going up from, and remember, only use your x's. It's going up from -5 until it gets to +1. X's only. It's decreasing, right, in that little section right there, from 3 to 5. I'm doing a terrible job. I don't have my pencils. This marker I'm using is not the greatest. Where is it constant? It's constant where it just flattens out, which is between 1 and 3. I guess that's it. Just make sure you use x's. X's only on that one. Number 15, find the reference angle and the exact value of 330 degrees. Sine 330. First of all, the reference angle is how far from the x-axis are you? You're 30 degrees away because you're 30 away from 360. Now, think about sine 30. What is sine 30 degrees? Look at your unit circle. You're going to find out sine of 30 is actually 1/2. And then look at what quadrant we're in. We're in quadrant 4. Sine is the y coordinate. Y in quadrant 4 is -1/2. And there you go. Hope that helps. I think that's all of it. One more. Let me look down here. This thing. Yeah, that's it. So hope it helps. Use as much as you need to. Do good tomorrow. I'm cheering for you to do great. See you tomorrow.